Howdy, folks. Happy Tuesday. Another warm and lovely fall day in Buffalo. We're supposed to get rain and it's supposed to get colder. So much for Indian summer. We're starting with the pre-show. Go ahead, Russ.
All right. Let's start with the Mets press conference with Steve Cohen. Real good stuff. I'll be writing about it for Full Press Baseball, and I'll get something on Sportsology eventually. But the main gist of it is, it's kind of nice when you get an owner that not only was a fan, but still relates to the fans, even though he's a billionaire. So as an example, he goes, well, I'm a local guy from Great Neck. I used to go to the games with my buddies. We'd sit in the upper. That's basically, my life and experience too, and millions of Mets fans. So when you could be on their level instantly, that helps you when you first take over a team. That gives you some acceptance rather than being like the Wilpons were always from rich background. They were from real estate. So there was nothing relatable there. This guy knows Mets history.
Yeah.
He was a super fan. He was at a lot of games, and that helps.
It does, but I have to forewarn because I heard similar things about a guy who was a big fan for a long time before he bought the team, and that was Daniel Snyder with the Washington Football Club, so our football team. So, I hope you're right. I hope, there's one bad thing when an owner is a fan, he reacts like a fan, and he got
in this press conference, and that's where I'll give him credit. He basically said, "Look, I'm going to leave it up to the experts. I have a day job, but." He's going to get involved in conversations and he's going to give his opinion. But his day job, he basically said, and what he said, this was the most important thing I think that a lot of fans and a lot of sports would love to hear from their owners. I make the bulk of my money at P72, and then I'm going to use a lot of it with the Mets. And that's what you want. You want somebody, especially in a market like New York where they really haven't invested enough. You want that commitment from your owner, and that's, you want guys that unfortunately are rich enough to be able to do it. But if it's your business and you're living day to day in your house, and you're not day to day, but you get it, owning a team, you shouldn't own a team in this era, right? It's a bad way to own it.
Yeah. No, honestly, I mean, that hockey, sports are just too up and down. I mean, they're not. It's not your safest place to be. It's a place for, rich guys to go and play, basically.
Yeah, and that's fair. Now
that's why the NHL looks for billionaires and not millionaires.
Right. And I think that Gary Bettman's been right in doing that. So switching over to last night's football game. The Jets have never started a season 0-9. I knew if there was a chance they were going to win, it would be against New England just because they would play them tough. They did play them tough. They did eventually lose in the end. The conspiracy theory is that Belichick didn't have his guys playing hard. Well, he didn't tell Cam Newton that, although Cam Newton can't throw the ball anymore. But
he can't run. He can't run anymore.
Well, he could run enough to get first downs and touchdowns. But you could say that your team is tanking, but you have to not have the players on the field to win if you're going to do that. And there was nobody on the Patriots that I felt like didn't want to win, especially on offense. If you want to say some of the defenders didn't play their best games, I might agree with that. But on offense, they did. And on offense, they ended up scoring 30 points. You can't mail it in and score 30 points in this league. There's no way to do it. So I think that conspiracy theory is baloney.
I think it's baloney, but I turned the game on when it was 27-20, and New England had the ball on the 2-yard line, and Newton runs it in on, I think it was fourth. It might have been fourth down, but
third down.
And somebody, the running back pushed him over the line.
Yeah.
They were talking on the broadcast about them going for 2 because they didn't think there was a chance that they would get the ball back. And then the Jets get the ball back, and I have never seen a worse 3-and-out in my life.
I know.
I'm not saying New England was trying to tank the game. I think the Jets were trying to tank the game with the calling.
I want Eck to go get his Joe Flacco helmet, and I want to smash it with a cinder block.
My University of Delaware Joe Flacco helmet?
Because as good as he played in the first half, I've never seen a worse fourth quarter with a team with a lead who needed to kill a clock and he threw a bomb that he had no chance of completing and threw it for an interception, and that started this whole downfall. And they had 4 plays in the fourth quarter, like he completely choked.
And he's a veteran quarterback who won a Super Bowl, and on a second down where he had about 7 seconds in the pocket, he doesn't know well enough to just throw the ball away. He gets sacked. I mean,
it was pretty awful. That's the problem though when you want your team to tank, and I do. But when I still watch the game, it's not like I don't want them to win. If they win, I'm not going to be sad. But it's just that is the yin and yang of it that makes it very hard in any sport, like in hockey and any of them, when you're expecting the expectation is your team is tanking, but not all the players know that, and they're trying their best. And some of the Jets wide receivers played great last night. They did.
Yeah. All right. Let's. I got something interesting here that I want to get into.
Okay. You have breaking news too, so we could do that too.
Yeah, you have breaking news too. Okay, we'll get to that. Okay, here we go. All right. Today is the 10th. Hello, Hockey World. It is Tuesday, November 10th, 2020.
I'm Michael Agello.
I'm Wes Cohen from Sportsology.
And I'm Eklund. You're watching HockeyBuzzcast at HockeyBuzz.com. Sorry, I'm getting information as we speak here. This is the podcast that comes every Monday through Friday to fill you in on the comings and goings in the hockey world. And so Adidas, just in the last few minutes here, hinted at something on their Adidas hockey feed. I'm going to show you what it is here. They basically said that, coming soon, we're going to see the NHL reverse retro jerseys, which is the 4th jersey for each team. Have you heard about this yet?
Well, didn't we see one yesterday, Russ? Wasn't there a Bruins jersey?
There are hints out there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what reverse retro really means.
It looks like, to me, Ek, what they're doing is instead of doing a home jersey, they're doing away, and they're doing it for a particular year in the past. Like the Rangers, it looked like they could be doing 96. It looked like they could be doing 79.
Oh, so this is like picking one of the odd jerseys they had over the years, basically, kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
one of the ones that they didn't use for a lot of seasons.
I think this is what's at the heart of it. This is a money grab.
Yeah, but fans
of course.
like this.
But if it's a nice looking jersey, I don't blame them. That's fine. I mean, I didn't like the Dallas Stars glow in the dark neon jersey. I thought that was a little.
I'll give you an example. If you wanted a huge money maker for the Rangers, as much as I like the one with the crest, and I talked about the story.
Yeah.
If you brought back the Lady Liberty jersey for the Mets, for the Jets, for the Rangers, all these teams are my
third time's a charm.
They're all the same.
If you brought that in for the Rangers, they would sell boatloads of it.
Yeah,
I still have one of those.
I know. I really that was one of my favorites. I mean, there are some really. It's interesting though. So this is going to be like a 4th jersey. It says there's a brief video posted on Twitter today. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, okay, because specifically about the Leafs. The Leafs have done every jersey. They went back and did the 64 jersey. They did the 67 jersey. They've done the Toronto St. Pat's jersey. They went back and even did the Toronto Arenas jersey, which I thought was really cool. I don't know what they would do. I don't know what they would do in terms of flipping, maybe flipping the colors.
Yeah, they would flip the colors. Maybe they go back to like the 67 one, maybe one that was, a little different than now, and probably flip.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
It's Instagram's very confusing with this because I'll show you. I'm trying to show you the video. It just shows like this video, which means nothing. Okay, so let me show you this. I'll show you this. I'm going to share this. Sorry. Funky music. Yeah, just feel free to dance along. Here we go. Okay, so this is the jersey. This is the thing that they've got going on here. So it's this guy walking away with just like.
So it's a teaser video.
This just shows you different. I don't know. This doesn't show you anything at all. Like, this is pointless. I mean, unless they're not going to all look the same like this, I'm assuming.
No, but most of them that we've seen have been white rather than the full colors and then the accents So that's what I'm expecting is they're all going to be white. And, in a lot of sports, I like the white ones better. I do. Even though like the New York Jets are green, I like their white jerseys better. The Rangers, I like the blue one better because that's the blue shirts that does fit. But a lot of times with teams, I don't like the full color. I like the white jersey better.
Yeah, I mean, reverse retro implies like futuristic to me. Like, what's the opposite of reverse retro? Doesn't mean
that if you really read into it, yes, it would mean like what will they wear in 2025? But I don't think that's where they're going. But
so what do you think reverse retro means? It's just like because it's
I think it means the reverse of the color scheme.
Yes.
And then going back and using an old retro jersey from a particular year.
Reversing the color scheme. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. All right,
Yeah.
so reversing the color scheme of like an old jersey. That's not terrible.
That's what I think they're doing.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what they're doing. I'm trying to find because somebody put I think it was Pete Blackburn. I'll send you the link here. He
showed the Bruins.
Yeah, he tweeted out the Bruins one. Let me just pull up the.
Okay.
I'll send you the link that you can show it to everybody.
All right.
In the private chat.
Okay. Private chat. Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Private chat. Okay, so here's what we have.
So yeah, but honestly, I look at this and Russ, is this much different? This is basically the color scheme of the Bruins jersey that had the Bruin that had the bear on it.
The bear, yes.
Right. It was a golden jersey, but this one has the Bruins emblem on it, and they've never worn a gold jersey.
Right. So they basically got rid of the bear, which was smart, and changed the color scheme.
Okay, so this is what we're looking at here. So
yeah. Now so this one's solid, right? This one's not white. Okay.
Now, okay,
that's not bad. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
That's not bad, but here's the problem. Okay, so the Bruins colors are gold, white, and black. They have a road jersey that's black, a home jersey that's white. So they go with the gold as a third jersey,
which they have, like you said before, with the bear and stuff like that.
Right. For a team like the Sabres, they'll probably do the same thing because their colors are blue, gold, and white. Right. But for teams that only have two colors, like Tampa and Toronto,
Detroit,
and Detroit, what are you going to do? You have a red jersey, you have a white jersey.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Maybe they're going to mix the blue and white, and that color will be a little different than what the team color is.
Are you gonna have maybe have a black jersey because like there's black piping, or I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like.
I'm all for.
They could have a blue Canadian jersey because they're blue Dunkaroo.
Right, they've never done that, I guess.
Remember they had that barbershop quartet jersey from years ago that gave people epileptic fits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now people. Montreal. Original six teams should just never have other jerseys. That's my opinion for the most part. But especially like
we're past that now.
I know we're well past that, but especially I think Toronto, Montreal, Detroit. Those are the three that are iconic to me.
I agree with that.
But obviously the Blackhawks are iconic too, but they've done different color schemes. And the Blackhawks have always had the Blackhawks credit. I don't think they've ever done a jersey that hasn't had the Blackhawks logo on it, right? Like the standard.
I think
they did have a black jersey for a while. I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah, they had a black jersey for a while. Everybody had a black jersey in the 90s. That was
right. But their traditional jerseys are the white and the red. Everybody loves the red jersey. That's probably everybody's favorite non-fan. They had
a circular logo once instead of, but they still had the same emblem otherwise.
They still have the emblem in the middle of it. Yeah.
I think that was the 50s emblem, the black.
Right.
Which they should. They just have such an iconic emblem.
Right. Yeah. There's no question. The same with Detroit with the wing wheel, even though Detroit stole it from Toronto, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think the Flyers have ever had a jersey without the.
That is true. You know that, right?
They stole what? The wing wheel was stolen from who?
From Toronto. It was stolen from a motorcycle group in Toronto.
Right.
Well, Red Wings is a kind of
So just so Punky knows that.
It's an actual brand, though. Red Wings of something. Red Wings is
Red Wings shoes.
Right, Red Wings shoes, right? That's where it comes
from. But, with LA, they probably will go back to the purple and gold.
Yeah, I like the purple and gold ones a lot. I have a purple and gold one. Yeah, I mean, I think this is cool. I have often thought they should just have like a fan contest and have like, because if you look out there, there's a lot of people who design jerseys on their own, and some of them are just phenomenal. Like there are something I would love to see like a fan contest to design in the New Jersey for a team, like once a year.
It's weird because now so this is coming out like here in Buffalo, the Sabres are going back to the royal blue, the old jersey color from the 70s.
Like you can click on the Calgary one. Sorry, it's in the private chat from Randy.
Okay, I'll click on that one too.
They're doing solid colors, not white, even though they showed Rangers white. Yeah.
Oh, that's the Canucks one. Yeah,
not the Canucks.
Calgary. Yeah, pull that one up back. But
that's a Canucks jersey though in that thing, isn't it?
What's that?
It's a Canucks logo on that jersey, right?
Let's see it. I can't see it.
Hold on.
I'll bring it up. I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, it is the Canucks logo. The Calgary Flames of it. I don't know what's going on with this.
This could be a fake. Well, no, don't pull it up back. This is because Markstrom and Tanev and all those guys went.
Oh, that's right. There we go. Yeah, that's garbage.
Yeah, thanks, Flamester. We're trying to be serious here.
Yeah.
Way to ruin it, Randy.
Saying in the chat room, there were some really awesome Kraken jerseys, and there really were. There were some amazing ones out there.
There were.
This is definitely something that I think the NHL should give it a shot. There's so many talented people out there, and with everyone having Photoshop and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny Red says his cars, motorcycle, and driveway are red, but is your hair red? Well, I mean, he's going to go all in.
Another question. Yeah, you never know. There's ways to find out.
I do have big news, actually.
Well, let's go to some breaking news besides the jersey news. Sorry, but we're going to get into some hockey games because I got some video hockey games to talk about today.
Yep. Yeah. So the ECHL announced their training camp and season schedule. The reason why this is big, there's a couple things. So they're going to have a bunch of teams open camp on the 27th of November, and then others open on December 11th. And then there's the rest are going to wait until January 15th. And training camps for that latter group will be the ones that are waiting till the 15th, January 1st. Don't ask me why. I guess it's based on where they are and what their restrictions are. Who knows? But it's a 72-game schedule. But apparently, Mike Russo was bringing up that the NHL had mentioned that players on ELCs could play there now.
Okay.
Oh.
And so
wow,
that's the bare minimum. Like, if you're not going to let other players play there, but players that have signed their ELC play there, I got to tell you, for a good month and a half, everybody's going to watch the ECHL because we're all going to see those players.
That means well, I wonder whether that means players on their who have AHL contracts.
He just said entry level.
Because AHL contracts can be sent to the ECHL.
Sure, but I think this means anybody on an entry level deal right now, like if you can't play in the OHL, but like Cole Perfetti, but you have an entry level deal,
right? This
is a way for you to play.
Yeah, you could send Nick Robertson if you're the Leafs down because he's on his ELC, and Wall and Scott and all. This
is like the big thing we were waiting for to see how they were going to get kids to play.
Yeah,
and we never really thought that the ECHL might be the answer. But remember, in the lockout, the AHL was like that for players, and teams sent some of their best prospects to the AHL that year. They changed the age requirement. Well, this would be great. This would actually give a real boost to the ECHL too.
It would be a great boost to the ECHL, and I'm surprised. I think the NHL should just allow this to happen, even if it's not something that technically can happen usually. I think there's no reason.
I think they should just let any of their prospects play there, but I don't know.
There's no reason not to. I mean, it does give a boost to the ECHL, which they're going to need. It gives the players a chance to play. I mean, the big thing that's going on right now is these teams who haven't played since last March are really just dying to get on the ice.
Yeah. But here's the issue. For the players that play in the ECHL that actually make money there, and that's their part of their job for the year, you don't want to put all of them out of work by flooding it with prospects either. So that may be why they're doing the ELC part. So it's sort of like, all right, you can let some of these guys play there because they're going to leave at some point anyhow.
True, they are going to leave at some point anyhow. But I think that I don't know. I think that's definitely worth letting them do. And breaking some rules, and the world, letting some guys play in juniors maybe that wouldn't necessarily be able to play in juniors even.
Yeah.
I mean, with leagues that are starting up, give them a chance to succeed a little bit here.
Yeah. And I love it. I think it's great. It's mostly the teams like in the South and Southeast part of the country. There's a few other, there's Texas and all that. That's because, again, that's where they're allowing things to go on right now. So they're going to try and take advantage of that. So one more thing. So I spoke to Brian McCabe today for an article I'm doing on Sportsology. He's director of player personnel for the Panthers. And so we got into conversation about Spencer Knight. And the one thing I'll say about that is they are letting him develop at his pace. So basically,
okay,
he didn't mention Bob. I didn't mention Bob. They are looking at Spencer Knight and just saying, when he says he's ready to play in the NHL, then that's when we're going to bring him up. And you know what? A, that's the right way to do it. And B, it's I think it's smart because then it doesn't put any pressure on Knight.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, he's gonna play in the World Junior for Team USA. He's young.
He's going to be their starter, right? He's going to be their guy.
He'll be their starter.
I've never heard him called Mr. Can Opener, Funky. That's interesting, McCabe. I never heard that.
Never heard that either.
Oh no, remember that was Brian McCabe's signature defensive move. He'd stick the stick in between the legs of the defense.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's what he's moved.
But then they made that illegal, and he got penalized a ton for that.
Well, here's something he also brought up. One other thing that we talked about, how the World Juniors now is going to be like a tremendous television event, like bigger than it's been in years, maybe as big as like 2005. McCabe played in 95, which again was another strike-shortened season. Remember, that's when the Devils won the Lockout Cup and everything else. And he talked about that and how big it was and being able to play in that. And so that is, for him, that was like a relatable thing. And he said there was a lot more attention that year than there were in other years. So that's kind of an interesting little thing there too.
Totally. I like that a lot.
Now we're into hockey.
Yeah, all right. Let's talk a little video hockey games here. So I've got a couple that I wanted to show you guys. And this is always debatable, of course. But and because I'm going to go throughout the gauntlet right away and saying that I think the most overrated, and I taught the overrated video hockey game of all time is Blades of Steel.
No, you're wrong. I played it so much when I lived in Virginia. There was me and another guy that worked in the same hotel together, and we would get together and play Blades of Steel. And it wasn't just like we were listening to the song. At the beginning, we loved the game. The game was fun.
The game is, I mean, first of all, I'm going to bring up the Blades of Steel gameplay here. It is definitely, here we go. All right.
Now, it was lacking a pro contract, right? It didn't have any pro names or anything like that.
No pro names, right? And it was definitely one of these games. So here we go. Application. Here it goes. Blades of Steel. Here you go. This is the gist of it. I'm going to bring it up here. Share this. Now, this game obviously had its epic moments where this part of it.
Yeah.
You can hear this, like the music. Okay, so here we go. Well, that's wrong. That's Punch Out. Here we go. Blades of Steel. Remember Punch Out? That was great.
Bad Bull.
I know. The famous Blades of Steel. This is the. I'm guessing this is the Nintendo version, so it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's the Nintendo version.
So this is not the arcade version. Let me find the arcade version here for you. But I think that.
Fine.
I mean, the thing about this game,
I guess by the 90s, I guess for that version, maybe that was like the Super NES.
I love the way they skate, like when they're coming at you, like basically like they're
great.
I don't know. Like, first of all, the any video hockey
game that showed the warm-ups. Even NHL took years to show the warm-ups.
I'll give you that. I mean, I'll give you the show and the warm-ups, but I mean the famous thing that they had, of course, were their various concepts of like the goalie going like this. That is a classic part of everything. This is by Konami, right?
Oh, I mean, if it was Tony Esposito or Patrick Waugh, they did that.
Right.
Or Murray Bannerman.
Yeah, Murray Bannerman.
Right, Murray Bannerman. I mean, I don't know. Like, let's get the chat room. Yay or nays on Blades of Steel. If in the chat room, give a yes if you like it, and no.
It's simple graphics, but this was like 1990 something.
Yeah, I mean, it is simple. It is simple graphics, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the simple graphics part of it. I just didn't think the game itself was that good. All right, so we've got 2 yays, 1 nay. Chat room for yes of
You got to remember though, there weren't a ton of hockey games out then.
No.
There really just was Electronic Arts and maybe 1 or 2 others, and that's it.
There was an Atari hockey that was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even count that.
Yeah, I'll bring that up, Mike. That I do remember, and it was terrible.
Remember the Atari skiing, which was basically a white screen with the guy moving back and forth, and the little bump was like something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the puck in the Atari game, it was square.
Here's the Atari game. This will be like this. Here we go. This is it right here. Yeah. Right, this is Atari. This is Atari ice hockey. It's coming up now. You'll see it. Sorry. Now you can see it. Yep. This was Atari ice hockey.
Yep. There's
this concept of now this is granted. This is a
2600. What do you expect?
Yeah, right. It's right. Exactly. There's not much to this game, obviously. So that's why.
There's no face-off circles. There's no red line, no blue line. There's no referee. There's not a lot of teammates, and it looks like they're playing on the pond.
They're playing 2-on-2 hockey.
Yeah, that they are. I mean, for what they had, and it was put together by Activision. Which remember, if you remember having the old Atari games,
the
Activision games were the best of them.
But it looks like these guys are playing hockey in ice skates. Like they don't have a grip on the ice. Like they're
playing in boots.
Still better than ET.
They're playing in sneakers. That's what they're doing.
Still better than
40
ET.
years ago. I mean.
No, it is. It's 40 years ago. No question about it. I agree. That's got to be. The funny thing about the whole thing was with this whole thing was that the back then, when you thought it was a cool thing. Now I am a big fan of the original, and this I'm putting into the top 10, and it's going to be controversial for me, but this is the original hockey game on video. The original hockey game was this. And this I'll show you guys, and this is something that I think deserves a serious look out for. What, and here it is. Is this it? Or is it? Oh yeah, I got it right here. This was available, and that would be the Pong hockey. Remember Pong hockey?
Yeah.
Pong hockey is really hard to, for some reason I can't find. But Pong hockey, the gist of it was you had 2 players. Why can't I find Pong hockey? Come on, this is ridiculous.
Nobody cares.
I know, but Pong hockey. I'm hockey. I'm amazing at Pong hockey, by the way.
Of course you are.
I'm really good at that. Pong hockey was really the cool thing about Pong hockey was that you could deflect the puck when it came through your. So you had 2 paddles that came up and down like this. Your goalie and your forward, and when your puck came, the puck was a Pong. When it came through your forward guy, it would deflect in different directions. If you did right, that was the key to Pong hockey. And whenever I look up Pong hockey on Google, it just comes up with pond hockey and refuses to accept the fact I'm trying to say hockey Pong. But yeah, that is definitely, to me, I played more of that game than anything I can possibly imagine. That game was just so very, very, very commonly played for me. Here it is. I think this is it. But yeah, so that's another. But so we had more yays than nays. I'll give you Blades of Steel. The funny thing about Blades of Steel was definitely the fact that here we go. There we go. This is hockey. Where is it? Okay, here we go. There we go. This is it. Let me show you this. This
that noise. It's like
I know that noise is. I own this. I own a couple Pong games from back then still. That you can put on your big TV.
I'm surprised.
I know. This is Pong tennis, if you remember. So Pong tennis is that, right? So this is Pong hockey.
And it had the dial, and it was ridiculous.
Pong hockey, which was the cool thing there, you see that your forward guy could redirect the puck.
Sure, but there's no difference. All they did for Pong hockey,
you had an extra person,
and tennis was
they had an extra line. That's it.
Having that deflection ability was so cool. You can see how the sea time change directions, and it was so you had.
Look, I played it, but the idea is there's no difference. There's nothing that makes this hockey.
Call of Duty has nothing on this.
Yes, but to those of us who are very old, this was the most incredible thing in the world.
I remember doing the deflections, though. I do.
This was the most.
I kind of remember how you did that.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's definitely worth some remembering.
I think before you bring up EA, we should talk about the NHL Open Ice was a lot of fun because those were I think it was Acclaim that made those.
NHL Open Ice, I'll find that one.
Yeah, look up NHL Open Ice. That was a fun game. I still own that for I don't know, one of the original PlayStations or 2, and then
it was 2-on-2 NHL Open Ice.
This was good because it had real players. It was, it was a 2-on-2 format. It had good players too. For most teams, most teams they were pretty stacked.
Here it is.
It was good.
It was on PlayStation, which was
it was on Nintendo before this, and it was in the arcade too.
There was an arcade version of it too.
Yeah.
I think what I remember about this is actually it was one of the first licensed video games for NHL. Like, because if you even notice the Blades of Steel, someone brought this up in the chat room too, that they just had city names. Like, you didn't have teams.
And that was common for a lot of games back in those days.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we go. Let's see. Open Ice. So this was it. Here we go. That's classic 80s arcade. Come on. That's amazing stuff. That should be like one of my ringtones for sure. Shoot, pass, turbo, pass. Boy, that's a lot of controlling. That's a lot of configuring for your controllers. All right, let's see. Here we go. Look at this. How about that? The guys' pictures.
Bernie Nichols and Owen Nolan.
Bobby Bradley.
I like that.
I don't know why they picked Renberg with Lindros. I guess they got Renberg cheap.
Yeah, they probably couldn't get Leclerc to return their calls.
Right. And Derek Plant.
I know, this is pretty awesome. So, but that at least it gives you like a little thing. So this is more along the Blades of Steel concept of left to right hockey, right? Where you're like that, and then the graphics on this are pretty damn good, I have to say.
Yeah, well, it was an arcade game, and that's why the graphics were.
Yeah, I'm liking this better already than Blades of Steel.
Oh yeah, this is better than Blades of Steel.
And I like how it's NHL/NHLPA. It had to be on the scoreboard.
Pads, there were some things.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. Good goalie save.
Good question. I don't remember who was announcing. I don't know.
Cool. They bring up the goalie. I like that.
Let's listen to it for a second. I can probably.
Okay.
That sounds like Mike Lang.
You think so?
Or no, who's the Chicago announcer? Pat Foley. It sounds like Pat Foley.
Yeah, I don't know who the announcer of this was. It's pretty interesting. At that time, this came out in what year would that come out in? I like it. All right, I'm gonna play that. I've got a game that has a PlayStation game that has every game ever imaginable.
You have an emulator.
Yeah, an emulator that can play anything imaginable. Now, this is NHL 94, but this is the 2008 version that just came out. So this is
I sent you the link to the scene from the movie Swingers that you wanted to play that because
yeah,
great scene.
This is has the Blue Jackets and Toronto. This is NHL 94, which is the classic. NHL 94 is amazing. This is worth playing. I played this last night. I played around with this last night.
What you're going to argue about, to me, the arguable point for 94 is on what format did you play? Because somebody in the chat room said Sega Genesis. This on the computer, I felt like the computer version was actually the best version because you've got better graphics than any of the consoles.
Okay. And
the computer controllers were just starting to come in vogue then, and you could get really good control of things.
Right. That's there was that brief period of a year and a half when the computer games were better than the arcade games.
Right. Yeah, when they were in between the consoles, they just made the PlayStation. Yeah,
right. They hadn't come out with Sega yet, and they were still in the Nintendo phase.
This is pre-PlayStation. Yeah.
This is right. This to me. This is my hat trick game. This to me is one of my favorites. This is the first arcade game I ever owned.
Okay. I don't know if I ever played this one.
So probably shouldn't play when you're over here.
I love how it's red, white, and blue, but most hockey players are Canadian. That's the funny part.
Yeah. There's no teams in this. This is the famous noise for this thing. Oh, Jesus! And all it was just it's just one-on-one. But this was epic in so many ways.
But the goalie's like a box.
The goalies are just back and forth. It's tough because you only have one controller, so controlling the goalie is tricky because you only have one controller, so you have to make your decision on what you're going to do with your player and your goalie at the same time.
This looks like the view from the press box at Cops Coliseum.
Yeah, I like that. This is definitely that press.
You don't even see
press box in Montreal, or where was it? Edmonton. Yeah, this is a classic. I mean, this is just classic. You don't remember this one?
I don't like that. There's no double goal line.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a really good
There's
one.
one goal
And
line.
from there, I'm going to go on to the Wayne Gretzky hockey.
He's like 36 years old, Russ. What are you complaining about?
No, what I'm complaining about is there's one goal light behind the goal.
Yeah,
There's not two. There's not one on each side.
right. There is this one. I know.
That hasn't changed.
I know. Wayne Gretzky hockey. This was
Oh, I did play that. That was not a good game.
No, and it says 1990. Someone brought this up in the chat room as I like the crowd, and the Gretzky like skating out thing.
Yeah.
But let's see if there's music to this one. There is. Oh, nice, excellent, beautiful. Too many options. Oh, your players.
Yeah, it's a player options. 1 player, 2 player, 3 players. I stick to it.
Like whoever created the music back then, it was awful.
I remember this. This was actually pretty good for its time.
That MIDI player, the MIDI player.
Yeah.
So this is before, this is 1990, which means this is like 4 years before NHL 94.
Right, but look at the net. It looks like a soccer net.
Yeah, yeah.
This looks like a view from the Goodyear blimp on the like an open stadium type of.
I like the circle around the crease, and the crease inside of it. That period of time where we had that.
It's like if you gave an ant farm hockey sticks, this is how they would react.
Yes, and you can't see who's actually controlling the play.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're all moving in different directions. Like there's no team unity there.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I like how tickets are on sale.
There we go. All right, this brings us to one of the classics.
I think we know where Wayne spent his money on that one.
No, but it said, Mike, it said tickets are on sale. I kind of wondered if Gretzky had a ticket deal.
He must have had some kind of thing going on there.
Yeah.
This brings us to one of the absolute all-time.
Yeah, I wonder which team he bet on.
Oh, ow.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's true.
Wow.
enough.
So this, okay, this is the best. All right, this is the Nintendo ice hockey,
Oh, yeah. Oh, this was awful.
which is like, no, this is great because this was really cool. So you could, the cool thing about this was, I mean, the colors were weird. Like,
What the hell is Poland doing?
I know. Nobody wanted
Hey,
to
it's that rare hockey
size players.
power.
You picked the what size players?
1988 Polish hockey team was a power, Mike. Come on.
Yes. So you go like skinny guys, fat guys, or medium-sized guys.
Dynamo Gdansk was a powerhouse.
And there were penalties in this game too, which is like this was like classic. And there were fights in this game.
SKA Warsaw.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, it was a basic, simple thing, but
How come when you hit the glass, it's a little blip? And that should make a big noise when it hits the glass.
I know, and this is like when I played this game. There's like way more checking than we are seeing here.
Where's the Luigi Mario on ice?
I know you could really check well, and I mean the fun parts of this game were
It's a double net. Look at the nets. 2 hockey nets.
two hockey nets big. Yep, and the goaltending was there's not enough checking in this version of it in this particular game. We would have lots of fights in this one. Like,
To answer Big Smoke here, the Polish Prince Mariusz Czerkowski.
Yeah, Tchaikovsky was the Polish rifle.
right. So that's a good one.
And Polish Power was Ivan Putski.
Yes.
All right, so that brings us to Intellivision hockey, which we had to bring up again because we talked about this yesterday. And this is like one of the classics. Let me see if I can make that.
I don't know if I ever played this.
Okay, so this was very, very early now. So we're talking like when Intellivision first came out, which was like it's so much better than it. So remember Atari hockey. So this was like the same time as that. So that's how much. It's a lot better.
I played this over someone's house because I remember the sounds.
And remember the controller on the Intellivision, which is like a flat pad, not a joystick, but a flat circle pad that you can push down with your thumb. And I mean, this my friend Dave Katz had this game, and this was like the coolest thing ever.
I had trouble doing circles back then because the Facebook the circle, the centralized circle is not really a circle.
Oh yeah, no, this was like, I mean, so these were penalty box doors, which were always like wide open, like they said. you could go in the penalty box. You could get penalties in this. There was a lot of tripping, and they're not showing any of the really like cool graphics of like a goalies going down and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which was really the fun part.
One goalie's translucent. It's like he's a ghost.
Yeah,
I love the dimensions though.
That's Anton Forsberg.
Yeah.
The ghost of Anton Forsberg.
Oh, that was Frederick Anderson in the playoffs.
Ooh.
Commodore 64. Commodore 64 hockey. I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one.
What about Mattel? You got to have the Mattel electronics. We could shoot the puck through the guy.
Right. Yes, Mattel. I have one of those.
1 and 2.
Yeah, I like the two. I like the 2-player version of Mattel head-to-head hockey.
Yeah,
that was fun.
We had all the Mattel games. Like everybody bought one. Like you bought football, you bought baseball, and that's how you get
yeah. Here it is. I'll bring this up here. This is cool. I'll share this. Here we go. Yeah, this was a fun thing. Mattel head-to-head hockey was pretty amazing.
Coleco head-to-head hockey.
So this is head-to-head hockey here.
Probably had this in about 1980.
Oh, I remember seeing this. Yes.
Yeah.
Runs on a 9-volt bat.
There was a head-to-head basable that I had too.
And it just lights up in front of the guy right when they have the puck.
Yeah, there was little lights.
Right.
I'm sure he's going to show that in a second. So there's the gameplay here. So this is what it looked like. So the puck's there. And this little slash thing here is your defenseman.
That's your defenseman?
Yeah. So the person on this side, once he starts actually playing, you can see that the defender can go and try to block the passes from one to the other. So the idea is the defender could block a pass.
No, but the defender never takes the puck up the ice.
No, but he just takes it away. Basically,
he just takes it away.
He just takes it away. So it tries to block shots, so like that. And your goalie. You move your goalie back there too. It's really really kind of fun to play.
The football version of this one, there was basically a pattern that you could run every time.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No, I'm not, baseball, but I had the baseball version of this one too.
Baseball was better, I think.
Remember this? Remember the baseball? This one. I don't know if you had this one or not, but this was really.
Like the baseball is, I think, what I actually had.
Let's see if I have this one. This was really not that there was this one.
Oh, the Mattel baseball was the best.
This was the one. The Coleco. This is the 1981. This was the one that was really good. And this, I don't know how many people. Do you remember this one?
Yes.
Yeah. This was actually a really good game. I thought at the time. I
wouldn't play that one.
So you had your bats, and you had your different pitches, and it was kind of cool because you could play with two people. It was really you bunning.
Actually, if you want to see a baseball game that we used to play a lot, it was interactive. Look up Sure Shot Baseball.
Sure Shot?
2 words.
Like Sure Shot Baseball?
This was a good game, and I'll tell you why when you show the picture.
That's this here?
Yeah. So down there, show the field. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see that red thing? That's how you pitched.
Oh, this thing up here.
So the ball goes down, and you used to be able to put a spin on it, a back spin on it.
Oh, cool.
And it would really screw up the batter, but you could hit it out of the park. That was the other fun.
Right. Well, there's a lot. This was a version of there was an arcade version of this one too.
Okay.
The big arcade version of this game,
which was a good game though. We broke it a few times. We rebought this one a couple times.
And now I think you can buy actually a version of this game where you have do you ever see this where the ball comes up from the pitcher's mound underneath the field?
Yes, I've seen that.
And pitches out. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
And there you can buy the ones with like the stadiums like looking exactly as they look.
He's right. You'd get very excited hitting a home run because it would go out of the park, and that would be great.
All right, so Joe wants us to look at Atari Hockey 2v2. I think that's what we saw before.
We saw that.
Atari Hockey 2v2.
Yeah, don't waste our time. Come on.
Yeah, that was really don't waste our time.
That's about as much a waste of time as watching the Islanders play.
Right. Oh no,
Lamester did to us earlier.
Now, there was one. What was it? There was the monster.
You're pissing off the fan base there, Mike. Good job.
No, it's just specifically Joe because I know he's an Islander fan.
The monster one that was like, what was it called? Where they were like creatures playing the game.
I know what you're talking about.
Mutant League Hockey.
Yes, Mutant League Hockey was good.
Let's look up that one. That was actually kind of fun because it was
get out more.
It was a one-off. There was nothing else ever.
Here it is. Okay, so let's get the video of this for a second.
Mutant League Hockey wasn't bad.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's see the music on this one. Mighty Goonies versus the
Better music.
Yeah, so you're just like monsters. Obviously, no offsides is being called in this game.
Yeah. So basically, Milan Lucic looks like one of those guys.
Yes, he does. Basically, oh, they actually call icing, and then of course the ice is on fire.
This is five versus 5 of Boris Vlahovic.
I do like the puck drop. The puck drop was good. And you're right. Certain things did happen to the ice, like crazy things.
Like there's a something like lying on the ice over there. I don't know what that is. And then there was Mutant League was really pretty good. 3v3, which is like a recent game that was put out by. Look that up for a second.
What we failed to mention, obviously, is the best board game, which is Stratomatic.
Yeah, well, we didn't mention that yesterday in our games. That was a board game, absolutely by far the best.
I played a little strat hockey. I played a lot more baseball, and one year we bought college football, which was decent.
Basketball was weird.
Basketball was weird. I didn't like it. Yeah,
the Stratomatic hockey. Okay, so give you the gist of what this looks like here.
Mike and Eck are the experts on this one.
Oh man, my buddy Dan. Again, this is like, he's like the guy for this. We played so many games of this. If I could figure out a way to make this a little bit bigger, it'd be good.
Yeah. No, just advance it because that's going to show you is the box.
That's the new box, man. I haven't seen that box. That's like very new.
Yeah.
So you got action cards. Now, we had something that we did, Mike. If you remember, like when you had to pick a card.
Yep.
Not the action card. Well, here's how. Whenever we talk about offense,
the split card.
Yeah, the split card. When Mike and I talk about offense, how you play. This is the concept in Stratomatic hockey. Okay, so you could play 1-0, which is like it's like not.
Well, no, this is the penetration ratings. This is
right. So
4 versus 3 is.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going off of this. The style you were playing. Like if you played 3-3, that was sending all your forecheckers in basically and playing offense, which is all offense. 1-0 is playing all defense. So that's the middle. So usually like 2-1, 2-2. That was sort of the rough area you would play.
Right.
That's
1-0 was basically New Jersey Devils hockey, and 3-3 was basically Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Or Edmonton Oilers hockey at the time.
Could you play the left wing lock on that if you wanted?
1-0 is
what it generally looked like. Now
by 0 it means 4 checkers, which means you're having all 5 guys stay at the blue line.
Okay.
Right. And that was
so Guy Boucher hockey.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's another. So the concept of this is you have your 5 players, your center, left wing, right wing, and 2 defenders going against each other. So it's basically like a player against player type thing.
Right.
And you would you'd roll the dice, different things would happen. You'd pick these cards, and then you'd have to. Often they were like 1 to 20. There's a 1 to 20 concept, right? Which was
that was the split cards.
Right, that was the split card, right? So you would get like a breakaway 1 to 7, and you pick 6 split cards. Split card would have a number at the top of it. And if it was between 1 and 7, you would get the breakaway. We hated that. What I hated about that was the fact that there were 40 cards, right, Mike? Right. So there's only one of each thing. So if you knew all low cards were coming up, that changed the game a lot. So we got rid of that and went to a 20-sided dice instead of the split card, which was so much better.
Yeah, but you had to use the split card to determine like a breakaway or determine things like that.
Right, you did that, but if it said like breakaway 1 to 20 instead of just picking up the card and saying we would
go 1 to 17 and use the 20.
You know what the worst
part? Roll the 20-sided dice, and that was so much better because you didn't, you could have any kind of like possibility there.
The worst part was, and this was the case in baseball for sure. They made the split cards out of the cheapest shit paper that.
Oh, they were bad. They were bad too.
You would just a couple of them would disintegrate before the season would end.
Russ, what I did was because I remember it was like a orange or pink colored
orange,
with like black numbers on it, and they would fray after about a week.
Yes.
So what I did was I took the bottom of a department store box, it was a white box with a gray inside, like a cardboard box, cut little baseballs and put baseball like little the stick on the outside, put the numbers on it, and use those as our split.
That's a good idea, actually.
Now I one time with Dan, my friend Dan again, my family went to Toronto to the Hockey Hall of Fame, drove up to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and we took Dan with us because Dan was my good buddy. And so in the back seat, my dad's driving in the front seat. My sister's next to him in the front seat. In the back seat was me and Dan and my mom. My mom was in the middle. My mom sat with a Stratomatic game thing on her lap the entire time. And what we did is we literally played Stratomatic the entire trip up.
Wow.
And what we did is I glued paper clips onto the board so that you could actually slip the players into the paper clips. so that you could play in a car driving. It was so we played that really passed the
Your
time.
dad had great patience.
My mom was amazing.
So are you still friends with Dan?
Dan's our writer. He's our Minnesota Wild writer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to get him on the show sometime. We should have him on for days.
Yeah, we need to find out more about young Eck.
Oh man,
We can have that as a repeated series.
and young.
Like young Sheldon, young
There
Eck.
you go.
Eck the early years, Eck the adolescent years, Eck.
NHL
Wonder Years.
NHL hits 23 at
Have a
2003.
good soundtrack.
This was NHL.
NHL Hits was good. I liked it.
Yeah, this was the intro piece for it. It's not the actual game.
Oh yeah, it had great video.
This is like Rock'em Sock'em
Yeah,
High.
this is Don Cherry-ish.
Yeah, I got to find the actual game.
How many legal hits in that video?
They're all illegal now.
All right.
Hitting is illegal.
No, this was a really this was a good one.
Of course, they're showing the Bruins. Actually, the Bruins are wearing the.
Here it is. Oh yeah, this was like the era of the Fox Sports thing. So you had the
Yeah.
top thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this, the great thing about this game was definitely the fact that the hitting was like way more.
Everybody was Gordie Howe. You could hit someone in the face. It didn't matter.
Another thing I liked about this game, and this brings up something I'm going to say about NHL 2020 that I'm reviewing right now, and something I don't like about it, is the players proportionally to the ice surface feel more right. Like a lot of times the players are tiny compared to the ice surface itself. This feels closer to how like the size of a human person on an ice surface.
I feel like offsides is turned off on this right now.
It's definitely turned off on this right now.
Okay.
But this is not bad. I'm gonna go
Oh,
back.
this was good. They're the Bruins jerseys we were talking about.
The blue
Yeah,
line,
right.
The blue line was there just for decoration, basically.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
it was there just for a
And
decade.
that was Joe Thornton on the Bruins.
That was Joe Thornton on the Bruins. It was. You're right. That was Sammy Kapanen on. That's Archer Gervais,
Yeah, all right.
right? Yeah, that shot was outside the blue line.
On the same pads.
Yeah, so this is GameCube. I'm gonna bring this one up. I'm gonna play this
Oh,
one.
it was on the GameCube.
Oh, this is on the GameCube. Yeah, this
I didn't have the GameCube. I played this on probably PlayStation or PlayStation 2, whatever. It was.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm thanks for bringing that up in the chat right there. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah, this was a good one. Good call. Good
I remember because like so NHL 20. Let me bring up NHL 20 for a second. Because I'm playing it right now.
Right.
And I'm going through it, and there are some great things. The graphics are pretty phenomenal, and all.
I'm hearing mixed reviews about it, like a good and bad.
The thing that I really don't like about it, I'm going to see if I can get some of it on here. Let me see if I can show you this. Okay, so let's just get in here. Okay, so this is where I'm talking about now. The players.
So last year,
Get
the
the
big
guys
development
to
was
show up.
RPM tech.
Nicely done. But anyway, all right. The players to me in this play are very small compared to the ice surface.
They do seem a little small from the
Not at
video.
all. You know what I mean? It's like it's weird. Like I'm not seeing much. There's not enough gameplay on here, but there's just like a feeling of like
Was that fan wearing a neck gaiter?
it may
It
have,
really did look like that.
it may have been. So here's like now you can definitely there are things like this that are kind of fun.
Yeah, the pond hockey.
But look at the size of the players' actual size. The ice just feels like this is like European ice, like this is
It
enormous.
does seem that way. I have to give you that.
And that's the first time I've had this issue with an EA game. Like normally they're pretty much.
Can you play manual goalie? Because the 1 year they took it away, I destroyed them in the review because
You
play
can.
manual goalie.
You can play manual goalie. Not enough people like to play it though.
No, I like it though.
I've talked to them about it and they just don't like to play it, but I like to play it too. Like
Remember when I don't know if they still have it. Remember when they had just the goalie view?
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was amazing.
That I want on a VR game. Like that was
Yeah.
pretty incredible on a VR game.
Because people don't really get a good feel what a goalie sees in a game because when it's all the way down the other end of the ice, like it's far down, man. They don't see everything.
Yeah. No, for sure. That so there's a lot going on from a goalie's perspective, and now especially because they like when I was a kid growing up, we talked about this before, Russ. I think when I was taught, I went to goalie camp and Can-Am and all that stuff, and I was taught to play goalie. When you're being screened to yell screen out to your like pick up the spots. And that has actually like totally gone away from the game of hockey, like to the point where because of the shot blocking and everything like that, everybody's blocking shots. The idea is that you're going to be in position and just let the puck hit you. You're not supposed to be able to see it. And it's a weird thing. It's a weird concept. So like when I first played with some of the kids in that tournament we played in a few years ago, I was being screened all over the place. I'm like, guys, I like brought everybody in. I'm like, what the hell? Like a yelling screen, you're not letting me see these shots, and they're, oh, you're not supposed to see a shot, you're supposed to block every shot. Like no.
Somebody's saying EAHL is an online 6-on-6. I've never heard of it.
EAHL. No.
Now I will tell you, front office, out of the park franchise manager for NHL and for baseball, really good. Especially for hockey. If you remember when we were not having hockey, I was starting to simulate some stuff, and it's pretty accurate. They do a really good job. So people should know that too. Yeah,
no, they do. And someone's brought up NHL 21. I'm not. I was showing NHL 20 and I'm reviewing NHL 21. I apologize for that. But I'm having the same concept is that the players are too. They just feel small to me. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, I mean, I still think it's an amazing thing, and it's an amazing game, and it's every hockey fan should have it. It's a lot of fun to play.
But before we end, there was a signing yesterday. We should mention Rupe Hintz signed a 3-year deal with the Dallas Stars, coming off of a pretty effective performance in the playoffs for the Stars. Russ, I mean,
SHL. Sorry.
Yeah, SHL.
Okay.
That's just basically, I think that's just the league format for EA Sports, because I know people who play.
I think that's right. Yeah, there's like a card thing where you get different players and build your.
Well, and the players are rated, and you can basically have like a Stratomatic type of league where you assemble your own teams.
I mean, the fun thing before you get finished that thought, Mike. The fun thing I've found about the EA games lately is to play the be a player mode where you're actually a player in the AHL.
Right.
And you build your way up and you try to make the team.
Yeah, I still have that on my my Xbox One. I created me and I did do it for a little while.
And it's fun because like you you literally sit on the bench when it's not your shift, you watch the game. And that part is fun, and there's some fun to that, and you get called up and then you get kind of you get smoked in the NHL and you get sent back down.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I talked to them one year about, because there are trades in their general manager mode. And there have been discussions between HockeyBuzz and EA about doing a trade rumor chart and all that stuff. So there's fun stuff that they're doing more and more of that kind of stuff too. So there's some good stuff in there as well. But okay, move on, Mike. Sorry.
Well, Rupe Hintz, I think, Mike. I think this is a deal that is going to cost Dallas down the road, and they're getting him cheap today. But again, when they have to come to pay up, he's getting better and better every year. That next contract is going to cost them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a 3-year deal at $3.15 million, and according to Cap Friendly, he's still an RFA without arbitration rights, which is weird because he's coming off his ELC. That might be a mistake, because usually in year 6 you have arbitration rights. He'd be 1 year away from unrestricted free agency, and yeah, at that point,
that's dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, Jan, we saw what he did in the playoffs, and I think he had some injury issues as well. But I saw him play for Texas in the Calder Cup final a couple years ago against the Marlies, and at that point, I said, this guy's an NHLer, and he played well in his first year, and then played a lot better in his second year. So, I mean, this is a guy who I don't think he can be I don't think he'll ever be a number 1 center. I think could be a decent number 2 center, but they have Pavelski in that role right now. So maybe by the end of Pavelski's deal, he's ready to move up into that role.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, I guess, is what would be a better payment for him, right? I mean, for him, maybe $4 million, but 3.15 is not bad. Dallas gives him an opportunity to mature into that role because they don't have to rush him into that spot, because you do have, but the thing, you would say you'd have 2 guys, right? But this year, Sagan's obviously out until April, which means Pavelski may step up, which means Hintz is going to get a very early opportunity to prove whether or not he can be the 2C in about a year or so.
By the way, Sagan showed a picture of himself laid up on Instagram. He's really laid up right now. It's going to take a while.
Oh man.
Yeah, Matt. I mean, a hip labrum tear in your hip is. I mean, look, we're hoping it's 5 months, right? But part of that clearly is having enough flexibility in his core, to be able to skate. And part of Sagan's game is his ability to skate. I mean, that's a big part of his game.
Their 2 best players. I mean, they've had hip surgeries That's tough. I mean, it's tough when your two best guys from a couple of years ago have all had hip surgery.
Right, but with Bishop, they already have a guy who's there set up to replace him, which is why they signed Hudobin, right? So they have a guy who can step in until Bishop maybe comes back. The problem is Sagan, even though he wasn't producing necessarily, he's still your number one center.
We talked about this when the signing happened, but Joe wanted to ask about what our feelings were on the Pulak deal. I mean, I think that $5 million on a 2-year deal is a good value for a guy who's got a big shot like that. But now he's a UFA, and along with Boychuk and Leddy and all those guys at the same time, you're probably going to end up paying him more a lot more if he has good years, because those guys' contracts are coming up. He could end up making $7.5, $8 million if he continues to play like he's playing.
He could. And Jan, I meant Ben too. Ben had double hip surgery.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I mean, they're decimated, right? Which is guys like Hintz and Kiviranta also are going to get major opportunities this year to be key parts of maybe the top 6.
Yeah, you make a good point though, Mike. With Pulak, are we allowed to call him Pulak or is it Pulik? Remember, he was like
I thought it was Pulak, but
I know, well, whatever. If he gets to the point of being Shea Weber on offense and gets 20 goals a year, this contract's going to cost them. And again,
big time.
This is assuming they've already gotten Barzal under contract and gotten rid of everything else by the time it's done.
Right.
Yeah, that is a bit.
They may still have Leddy there, and Boychuk would probably still have a year left there.
Well, Boychuk's got 2 years left now.
All right, so he'll be gone, but Leddy will still be there.
She doesn't think so. No, Letty, I don't know. Letty will still. Hello. Letty will still be there.
We don't hear enough.
No, Letty's got 2 more years also. Boychuk, Letty,
and they
all have 2 more years left on their deal.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And Dobson too.
Yep.
This is a puppy, guys.
Dobson will just extend them on an EL. I mean, they'll just extend them. That's all.
This is Stella the puppy. So she's got this cool ear thing you can see on this thing. So when her ear's down like this, it looks like she's like wearing a LA Rams.
Oh yeah.
Vince Ferragamo.
Yes, there we go. All right, go down. All right. Let us know what you think in the comments today about your favorite video games and stuff like that. And just let us know where you are. Now today on Hockey Buzz, by the way, I just want to point this out. We may have him as a guest tomorrow. I had a guest guy today help with, and really kind of a cool article. If you check it out, it's by
Eric Brady.
By Eric Brady, yeah, Eric Brady, who works for USA Today and Buffalo News now, or was with Buffalo USA Today, did a really cool story on Alex Trebek and Howie Meeker, and sent it to us as an exclusive. And I really think it's definitely check it out. It's worth reading, and it's up there now. I'm going to be updating the rumor chart this afternoon. And tomorrow we'll be talking rumors for sure, and we'll do some rumor talk tomorrow and some Q&As maybe as well, and so get your questions ready for tomorrow. Let's do that. So I was thinking we would do a Q&A rumors session day.
Okay.
So thanks everybody for joining us today, and thanks to all the video games in our lives.
Always fun.
Remember, without the buzz, it is just